Hey there folks, I hope you're doing well and getting some paint on your minis. Last weekend I ran my first painting competition called Maple Palette, and it went way better than I expected it to. Like way better, and we're gonna talk about that just in a second. This video is gonna be just full of shots from the event, and I'm just gonna talk about why I decided to run this event and how it went and all of that jazz. Don't worry, this face is going away, so let's get into it. So Maple Palette is actually an idea I had back in November after I attended another painting competition in Canada called Sword and Brush. Now Sword and Brush is an amazing event, and after leaving it, I was just so full of inspiration and energy, I was immediately trying to find other events to participate in. However, Canada is very much so lacking in events that kind of focus on the painting side of the hobby rather than the gaming side. So after some ruminating, I decided I was going to do something kind of similar. I was gonna run my own painting competition in this part of Ontario. So I live near London, Ontario, which is another fairly populated area of Ontario, but not quite as crazy as, the GTA, the Toronto area. So I figured it might do fairly well, but the logistics were a little bit difficult for me. So I ended up reaching out to Tim, who owns the Game Chamber in London, Ontario, not too far from me. I talked to Tim for a little bit and he agreed to help out, to host the event in their nice little back area that they have at the shop, and to help, put some funds toward organizing it and everything. And yeah, Tim and Jonty at the Game Chamber were both a huge help in this effort. Essentially, I just wanted to create something that was a kind of a home base for painters in this area. Now, Sword and Brush is an amazing event, but it's only one event, and it's the only one big painting event that I know of in Ontario. So I decided, hey, let's offset from Sword and Brush, which happens in November, and let's run something in April. So now we're left with a 6-month break between shows in Ontario instead of 12 months. So I figured it'd give people, something else to do throughout the year, place to go and collaborate with other painters and just socialize. So, the idea in my head was cool, but I just didn't quite know how to do that, which is where Game Chamber came in, and we kind of worked together and figured this all out. So the concept of the show was just to be an open format competition. This is the same type of competition that Sword and Brush does. I really like it because essentially what it means is that you are actually judged against the criteria for the category and the rank, bronze, silver, gold, rather than being judged against other painters within the category. What this means is it's less of a competition between people and rather a competition with yourself to kind of see where you are as a painter. Now, what this also means is that a category such as single fantasy or units, etc., could have more than one winner. There could be multiple golds, there could be multiple bronzes, there could be none of either. It all depends where each entrant kind of lands within the criteria for the rank. I thought an open format competition would just kind of be the best way to get people feeling comfortable and to get beginners and veterans alike to come out and just socialize and have fun. Now, my next thought was, okay, there's a competition, but what else are people gonna do in between all of the judging? So discussing this with the guys at Game Chamber, we decided to come up with a few different events throughout the day. In the end, we landed on having a speed painting event, classic, a blind painting event, which is essentially like a speed painting event, except you are blindfolded the whole time. We used COVID masks. And then every few minutes, you can take the mask off, you can take a look at where your mini's at, change your paint up, bloop, goes back on. And all these events had prizes at the end of them for, who did best, and it's all just in fun, nothing crazy, no money on the line or anything. Another fun painting event we had was our co-op event, where you're paired up with someone else and you paint normally, except you're holding the other person's model and they are holding yours, which makes things a little tricky. We also had a kit bashing event running throughout the whole day. We just loaded up this massive table, just full of sprues for people to go at, and people were just loving it all day, just going through all the bits and putting together some crazy creations. And at the end of the day, we just kind of rated the best creation and they got a prize too. The end of the day, we had a big event as well, where everybody painted a miniature, but every once in a while, we would just throw out a random thing to switch it up. Like, you have to paint with the other hand. You have to put your model in a container and paint it while it's in the container. You gotta do all kinds of weird things. So it was just kind of all this fun stuff running throughout the day that people could do while they're not, you know, checking out the models that were entered in the competition. We also had a few seminars throughout the day, and they were all filled up, I believe. We actually packed Game Chamber full of bodies. We ended up having more people attend than we ever expected, which was totally mind-blowing. But before any of this even happened, I was worried that this competition would even succeed, because it's really hard to advertise these things to such niche communities and to also gauge how much interest there is. So I showed up the day of the event and got there just a little bit early because I wasn't sure what to expect, and started signing things up. And I found that there was already some people ready for the event that were there before me even. And I was there like well before the start time. So I was kind of like, okay, this is interesting, kind of cool people are showing up. But as I started setting up and getting ready for the day, more and more people just started showing, more and more and more. We probably got 2 to 3 times as many as I expected. We had probably 210, 220 entries into the painting competition. We had over 40 people in the building, maybe 50, something like that, which is a fair amount for like the first time for a painting competition. So I was super amped up, but also a little intimidated. So I spent a lot of the time just really running around and trying to make sure everybody was having a good time, all the events were running on time, and all of that. It was really a blur for me, but after the event and after I had judged all the pieces and things were kind of settling down, I had a bunch of people coming up to me, thanking me for organizing the event, saying that like they've always wanted a painting focused event in this area, but everything's gaming focused and it's just never really happened. And that was like really, I mean, it wasn't surprising to me because that's why I wanted to run this event. But it was a little humbling to have all these people coming up to me and thanking me. Like, I'm just some guy that really likes painting and I talk about it a lot. And I just wanted to run like a cool event and to talk to other painters, because I live in a small town now. There's not many people in my area. I don't get to socialize much with hobbyists. So this was just like kind of me building an opportunity to socialize with others while also giving others that same opportunity. And it was just very, again, humbling to have these people thanking me for something that, you know, I was kind of wanting someone else to do myself. It really filled me with some inspiration and excitement to do this again next year. If anybody out there wants to collaborate for our next event, that'd be amazing. Reach out to me. My contact information is everywhere. You can find me. But yeah, this event was just super awesome. There's so much more I could say about it, but hopefully these pictures are awesome. And they're a good example of, you know, what one person and the help of a shop can achieve within your community. It worked and it paid off, and it's awesome, and I'm just super jazzed, and I'm super thankful to the guys at Game Chamber for helping out with this event. I'm super thankful to all the people that just showed up. I just want to say thank you to everybody, and I hope that you enjoyed yourselves. If you had a bad time, reach out to me and give me that feedback so I can make it better for next year. Hopefully it's not anything in particular I did, because I really tried to be respectful of each entrant. So yeah, thanks everybody. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the event. Check out the links down below. I'm gonna put the Maple Palette link down there, probably a link to the Google Drive where you can find all the photos and such. Reach out to me if you wanna just chat hobby, or you wanna get some feedback, or you wanna collaborate, or anything, because I'm just doing this stuff because it's awesome and I love it. And I hope you guys do too. And just paint and be happy and have fun with it, and don't compare yourself to others. Just like have a good time. This is for fun, right? So anyways, until next time, I hope you get lots of stuff painted. I hope you have a ton of fun doing it, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.